if you were to enter this into the solve feature of your calculator, all you need to do on your calculator is to enter the word solve, type an equation exactly as it appears, and then end it with a comma, and then the variable you want it to solve for. So in this particular case, if I were to access the solve feature, which is under this algebra tab, F2, so if you hit F2, choose solve, that's the very first option, and you write your equation. So I'm going to write, I'll write it as it appears. So 1/2 x to the second is equal to the square root of 2 x plus 1, comma x tells the calculator that I'm solving for that variable. And when I hit enter, what I see is I get my solution, which is square root of 2 and then plus or minus 2. Hey, let me show you the method if you were doing this by hand. Okay? So if I were to complete the square here, I would write all my terms on one side, and I'd make my leading coefficient positive. So I'd subtract a root 2x from both sides, and actually I can leave the 1 over on the other side. Okay, so if I just move my terms containing x to one side, I then want to get my leading coefficient to be a 1, so I'm going to double everything. So if I multiply everything by a 2, that gives me a leading coefficient of 1. Okay, and now I'm going to go through the steps to complete the square. I take half of my b value, so if I take negative 2 root 2 and cut it in half and then square that value, so the 2's cancel, I get negative root 2. If I square it, I get a positive 2. So I'm going to add 2 to both sides. It allows me to rewrite my left side as a binomial square, x minus, and again, it's the value that I squared. It's half of this value, which is just root 2, and that's going to equal 4. And then I can extract my square root. When I do that, I do need to take into consideration the positive and negative root of 4, which is 2. And then I isolate my x by adding root 2 to both sides, write it in front of my plus minus, and that gives me my solution.